What's good, everybody? It's your boy Tico on Blitz back yet again with another video. And today we are going to be playing in the brand new Tier 10 Polish Tech Tree Tank Destroyer, the NC-70 Błyskawica. This is a brand new Polish Tech Tree tank that has just been introduced in the present update. It features a brand new mechanic called Assault Shells, meaning that if you are at a certain radius point to where you are basically face-hugging your targets, or if you are about 50 meters or less, then your damage increases by however much amount that your average damage can withhold. For example, 50 meters or less, you can deal about 140% more than what your average damage is going for. Anything longer than that, it goes down by 100% at 120 meters and 80% at 200 meters. Along the lines of that, this is probably one of the first frontline tank destroyers that I've ever seen that actually has, surprisingly enough, fairly solid armor, sitting at 230 on the front. And for a individual perspective, this is what the full-on armor profile looks like, facing off against a T110E5. Yeah, that is a huge thickness point of spaced armor that occurs on the full-on upper infrastructure. About 314 to 324 in most cases. There are a couple bits of weak spots, but yeah, there's no way that you're going to have any bits of luck trying to pen those spots, mainly with standard ammunition. When I do load my heats, however, of 340 millimeters, still going to struggle a little bit, as it does thicken the armor now to about 345. But on an E5, when I am running Cali of up to 384, it makes the armor pretty much into nothing at that point. But it's really all going to change when the vehicle is using its 6 degrees of gun depression, as it now thickens it to 413. Yeah, you still got that gun mantlet to where you can get a couple bits of weak spots if you do manage to hit it in the right spot. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be very tough. You would just have to have a very accurate tank to do so. There's a hatch on the roof as well, but when it's using its gun depression, yeah, like I said, good luck trying to hit that hatch. It's not going to be possible at an angle like this. So it's mainly going to be beneficial with standard if it is ever on flat ground, to which the hatch is only about 40 millimeters thick, and also for the lower plate, which is a major weak spot, is about 202. And when you angle the tank at the slightest bit, let's say if you are at a position like this, for example, when the tank is aiming in on you, then you basically have 268 version 4 levels of cheeks right here, to where it opens up into a small little weak spot, having 262 in most cases, with calibrated shells ran especially, and it doesn't really make a difference as well without calibrated shells as well, because at the slightest bit, you can still pen that spot right there, as it's only about 250 millimeters thick. So you gotta kind of be careful when you are angling in this vehicle, because it's mainly moreover going to be beneficial when you are just relying on keeping it as straight as you can as possible, hence to also being in face hugs as well. So if we go at an angle like this with standard ammunition, yeah, so an E5 is nowhere going to pen this thing if it's in a face hug. I mean, that's just the point of being in a frontline tank destroyer, is that you rely on your armor just to get away with the most of frat scenarios. And then for the side of the vehicle is upwards of about 161, and then the full-on rear is upwards of about 96. And then for the individual rear, the back is upwards of 69, and where the engine deck is located is upwards of 71. You have a very troll spot right here that's about 40 millimeters thick, which means if you are unfortunate enough to hit that spot, yeah, that's going to be a tough time in terms of your behalf. But for HEs of about 60 millimeters with an E5, it's not necessarily going to be enough to cut through the back of his vehicle. But for something like a BZ75, 1A3, everything that you can think of that has deadly amounts of hash pen, it's going to not have any problems at all trying to cut through this vehicle. And along the lines of that, the vehicle carries 2,800 damage per minute with a 10.6 second reload time. Along the lines of that, having fairly solid pen, having premium APCRs and standard APCRs along the lines of that, having 299 on the standard APCRs, 394 on the premium APCRs, and 70 on the high explosive. Combined as well, this pretty much varies on how much minimal distance you are fired at, like we said with the assault shell mechanic, having 500 alpha on the standard, 430 on the premium, and 810 on the high explosive. Combined as well with an okay 3.8 second aiming time with 0.292 dispersion. And then finally, for the maneuverability, you go 44 forward and 12 in reverse, and you have a power to weight of 15.5 along the lines of that. So we're going to get into a couple bits of gameplay, showcase what capabilities the assault rifle mechanic does happen to go for what this vehicle has going for it, and let's see how we can do. And it looks like they have a T95 for the only TD that they have on their team. So let's go ahead and benefit ourselves by going towards a certain direction, which in this case, it looks like we're going to go to the left side. So let's go on ahead. Mr. 183 and I are going to be holding off this side by the looks of it over here. Well, it looks like everybody else apparently is going towards the far right side. I don't know why they would, but we'll just have to see how things fare well. Well, actually, there's a lot of mediums, so a standard T92A1 we have. Looks like we are outdone in terms of the mediums. So 183 and I are basically going to take care of the flank over here and see how things will go. So, let's see. Get the E5 off to the side right on over there. Let's just go ahead and see what else they're possibly going to have over here. I'm just going to continue moseying my way on upwards over here, probably towards the enemy E5 by the looks of it. So let's go ahead and continue moseying our way on through. We got the enemy Lion off towards the far back side right there. Let's go ahead and I'm not going to risk taking that shot just yet, as I will know that the E5 is going to be over here. Let's see what we can do in terms of his vehicle. All right, so he does move on down, unfortunately enough, so we're going to go ahead and continue moving backward over here. We're going to get right in behind this T95 right here, or the E5 in that aspect. So let's go ahead. 732 out of his vehicle, and now we have our adrenaline popped, which is really good. 3, 2, 1. Come on, Mr. E5. I know you want to do it again, bro. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right. Yep, I guess we're going to have to back up then, because apparently the T95 wants to come in now. 2, 1, and... Bro, oh my gosh. Are we just going to bounce this guy every single time, bro? That's premium APs, bro. Like, what are we doing, Wargaming? Oh my gosh. Come on. There we go. 550 off of his hatch. Okay, thank you for making that up for me, bro. I appreciate it. So, 3, 2, 1. I really hope this guy is going to poke on out once again. All right, so they're basically screwed. Okay, that's really good. So, E5 right on out over here once again. Let's go ahead and move our way on upward towards his vehicle then. And get the finishing clear. Beautiful stuff. All right. That's the assault rifle mechanic to the best of our ability right there. I mean, that was pretty rat of a situation right there. Considering that, yeah, it didn't really fare well to the best of our ability. So, all right, we're going to continue moseying our way on up. We got the Object 752 right off to the side right there. We also have the Eric Concept, who's going to be playing fairly aggressive right on over here. So we're going to go right on over here. All right, we also got the Batchat moseying on down over here. I'm just going to kind of turn my tank around right here. 694, I can honestly complain about that, so that's going to put us at the 2,500 damage mark, and then we're going to mosey our way right around over here towards the Eric Concept right there, and get 726 out of his vehicle real quick, and then we're just going to turn our vehicle right around over here before the Eric Concept has the opportunity to finish us off. Uh-oh, this does not look good on our behalf. Oh, thank you, teammates. Okay, well, that was a good way to make up for doing 3,300 damage, just relying on that alpha for the most part with the assault rifle mechanic. I mean, thank God we were able to get a lot of high rolls in that battle. I thought we were screwed there for a second, but that's the beauty of having teammates along the lines of that. And, yep, that's going to be a top on the team in that aspect. Pretty good result for our first game. So let's go ahead and plop it into our second battle, and let's see how we can fare well along the lines of that. So like I said, for the fact that this is meant to be a frontline tank destroyer, it can necessarily get away with a lot of more rat aspects than that. It's just unfortunate that Wargaming did not really bless my RNG on that enemy E5, and it caused me to feel very agitated because of the fact that I was getting those rat bounces. But luckily enough, my teammates did come in at the last second and make it up for the fact, along with getting a lot of high rolls in the process. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get on into game number 2 then. All right, so here we are. Let's see. They just have a 183 in terms of their tank destroyers. We have an XM66F as well. So, and they got 3 or 4 mediums by the looks of it, and we have 1, 2, 3. We got double Sheridans on our team. That's actually going to be quite interesting to witness. So let's go ahead and see how we can demonstrate in our second battle right here on the Bliskavica. Okay. All right, here we go. Let us get on in, gentlemen. Sherry, I am going to allow you to come beside me right over here, good sir. Yep, so you can go ahead and do that while you go right on in towards that frontline spot right on over there with your buddy. Okay, so Mediums are moving on up over there, which is unfortunate. Well, the Sheridan is staying on back. I don't know why he's going to be doing such. So, let's see what we're going to do. We got the Sheridan off towards the side right there. We also got the Bat Chat. That is very interesting that we bounced that shot. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and see what these guys are going to do. So, we got the Sheridan off to the side right there. Char's off in the back. Okay, so this is kind of going to be a little bit of a rat situation, if I'm not mistaken. So there's the Bat Chat again. Let's see what the Sheridan is going to do. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on up just a bit. The M60 is coming out very hot. Wow, what a shot. 543 into his vehicle. All right, very good stuff. So we're going to mosey on down just a little bit right on over here. We got the M6Yo off towards the far side right there. Not going to be able to get a tap into him nonetheless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mosey my way right around over here. We got the Yo. We also have the 183 off to the far back. There we go. Nice 501 into his vehicle. All right, beautiful stuff. And the Yo is going to come on out at the last second. So let's just go ahead and mosey our way on up. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of the Yo. Okay, he's going to point his gun upwards, unfortunately enough. I'm not going to risk taking that shot. Okay, that's all right. Hello, Mr. M60. I can honestly care less about you. There we go. 511 into his vehicle. Unfortunately, he does get 2 taps into us, and we did lose a fraction of our hit points, which is also unfortunate. That's all right, though. So let's go ahead and see what these guys are possibly going to do. Got the M60. Okay, good. He does get cleared in that aspect. So let's go ahead and see what these guys are going to do. We also got the Yo once again. Let's go ahead and see if he's going to mosey his way on outward. Which we do get a nice 440 into his vehicle. Actually, we did turn at the last second, which is unfortunate. But the good news is that we're going to go right back up over here. And let's see if we can get a nice tap into that sharp view chair right there. 546 out of his vehicle. The gun somewhat does feel very nice when it wants to work. I mean, it's doing me really good for the most part. And that's really what contributes towards this pretty good gun right there. So, all right. Reloading again. We also got the 183 off towards the side right there, who I don't want to risk taking that shot onto, so I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to hold off this flank right over here where the Sheridan and the Bat Chat are located. So we got the Bat Chat off to the side right there. Let's go ahead and unfortunately miss that. Yeah, we did kind of not take our time there. So reloading again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we got the Bat Chat right there. There we go. 507 tap into his vehicle, and there is the Prog off to the side, which is all right. So 3, 2, 1. All right, so, and the Sheridan is off towards the side over there as well. Oh, we got the Prog off to the side. Nah, not going to be able to get that shot into him, unfortunately enough. Also got the Sherry. Nice, 519 out of his vehicle. Again, the display of the gun is actually doing me really good. Assault Rifle is actually doing a fairly solid job just getting these high 500 rolls, which is the good news. So let's go ahead and mosey our way right on up over here. We got our Sheridan that's going to come after him. Okay, he does finish him off. And then we're going to go right at the Prog right on over here. And then we're going to go ahead and slap the finishing shot and dealing just shy of 4,000 damage. Again, the Błyskawica just doing its average things with that special mechanic. Doing really well, and we did end up holding that side off fairly well in terms of our mediums. Not necessarily contributing for the most part, especially one of our Sheridans, because he didn't really go towards that far side of the map. But still, a fairly solid result. That's going to be a second on the team in that aspect. And yeah, that's where I'm going to drop the mic for this session right here. The Błyskawica is brand new, and I'm sure a lot of people have had their fair share of upsides and downsides when it comes toward this vehicle. I somewhat do like it for the most part. It's got a very nice gun, and the assault rifle mechanic, depending on how far away that you are aiming in on enemies and trying to fire in on them, basically determines your damage output. Still, at about a minimal distance, it does seem to do the job really nicely. So I can't complain nonetheless about that. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video on the other hand. And if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you do not miss out on any new videos or streams. And make sure to join the Discord, first link in the description if you have not already, so that way you can get notified whenever I'm about to upload any new videos or I'm about to start a brand new live stream, so you can be one of the first ones lurking on into either of the chats. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.